Review for The Onion Field, 1979. The synopsis is an LA police officer is murdered in the onion fields outside of Bakersfield. However, legal loopholes could keep his kidnappers from receiving justice, and his partner is haunted by overwhelming survivor's guilt. The director is Harold Becker. He did City Hall, Malice, Sea of Love, The Boost, which I have a review of with James Woods in it. I think the direction in this movie is pretty good. It's not amazing. It's a little bit TV-esque. It reminded me of. It's kind of a complaint. Maybe the movie's a little too long, but it's an interesting script. It's an interesting story. So Franklyn Seales is out of jail. For a couple days, he ends up meeting James Woods, who's an ex-con, also a thief. They're both thieves. James Woods has another partner, but this guy, he drinks all the time. He's not reliable, so he's kind of looking to change partners in crime, basically, and he calls it a family. I don't know how good of a family it is, though, but so he meets him, he gives him some money, he's nice to him, and he ends up taking him in his car. They meet his girlfriend, and that's where their story kind of starts. And then John Savage is a new detective. I don't know if they're Vice. I think they're Vice. And Ted Danson is a cop, a detective. He's been there for a while. John Savage is the new guy. And they are driving around one night, and they see James Woods and Franklyn Seales in a car, and Ted Danson thinks, they're up to no good, so he's going to pull them over, and they do. James Woods then is able to get Ted Danson's gun, and John Savage James Woods tells Franklyn Seales to get his gun. He does, and they take him into the onion field, which is off of Bakersfield in the middle of nowhere. And they end up killing Ted Danson, and John Savage is able to run away and get away barely. And this starts what is a long criminal process. A lot of good actors in this. John Savage, James Woods, Franklyn Seales, Ted Danson, Ronny Cox, Christopher Lloyd is at the last 20% of the movie, maybe 15%. He's in jail. And so I like the movie. I didn't think it was amazing. Like I said, the direction is a little TV-esque, but overall, good movie, good story. It's an interesting story, how it unravels. And yeah, I enjoyed it. But so I guess I'll get into spoilers. There's not many spoilers. The synopsis kind of gives it away, and it's based on a true story. So, and Ronny Cox is, I think, a district attorney. So he's great. He's great in everything I've seen him in. So after that occurs, they're searching for John Savage. They can't find him in the onion field. He ran off. Franklyn Seales is searching in the car. James Woods is searching on foot. Franklyn Seales kind of is like, forget this. He leaves, drives the car off, because to be honest, all of this is James Woods' fault, because they get pulled over by them, and Franklyn Seales is smart because he has a gun, but he hides it, puts it underneath his seat, basically. And James Woods, I think he has a gun on him, but he doesn't do that. And just right away, um, I think he pulls a gun on Ted Danson, and it's kind of like, well, did you have to do that? They did like an illegal U-turn or something, so they were probably just gonna see what you had on you, and if you had nothing, then they just give you a ticket and leave. But he did that. He escalated the whole thing. They're kidnapping them, taking them out there. He kills Ted Danson. So, this is all escalated because of James Woods. He's kind of crazy. James Woods says he was out of some prison, but then Franklyn Seales says later that is actually like a mental hospital. So, James Woods is all over the place. So, Franklyn Seales leaves in the car and leaves James Woods out in the middle of nowhere. James Woods ends up stealing another car. He's super pissed. He leaves, and that car gets pulled over, and he gets caught. And then he gives up Franklyn Seales, and he tells him where he thinks he'll be. He is in that area. They arrest him. This leads them to being charged with murder. And their trial just takes forever. And during this time, John Savage is a cop. He gets transferred to another division, I think, like stopping robberies and stuff. But John Savage has, like they say, like survivor's guilt, PTSD. He's really messed up. He starts stealing things to get caught. He does get caught. This is like a couple of years after the Ted Danson murder. And he could quit the force and resign, or he'll be charged with a crime and they'll fire him anyways. So he resigns, throws his police job down the drain. He's very screwed up. He's just at home. He kind of takes up what would you call it, like, taking care of plants and trees and stuff. And his wife gets a job, so he's just kind of at home. He's very unhappy. He's kind of drinking a lot, and he's just very depressed. This is pretty much like just destroyed a lot of his life. The trial continues to keep going on and on, because James Woods and Franklyn Seales, they get convicted, but then they get like another trial. Yeah, I didn't really understand that. Then they get like another trial, and James Woods wants to represent himself, and so does Seales. There's all these roadblocks. It's taking years. It's like 6, 7, 8 years later. They get a new trial. They get convicted. I think they both get 25 to life. Because the movie's 1979, but it takes place in 63. So I think they both get 25 to life. And James Woods becomes like, really savvy in the law. He's helping other inmates. They on death row. They were on death row, but then they get life. So that's where they meet Christopher Lloyd. And yeah, I mean, I like the movie. Like I said, I didn't think it was amazing. Really good cast. Very, very good cast. It's kind of a sad story, Ted Danson gets killed. John Savage, is just a wreck. And has terrible survivor's guilt. So even though it's not his fault, some of the police kind of like blame him because he gave up his gun. Some think that he could have done more to save Ted Danson, but in reality, I don't think he could have. I mean, they had a gun pointed in the back of Ted Danson, And James Woods is like, okay, give the gun to Franklyn Seales. What is he supposed to do, you know? But he gets criticized by some of the cops in his department, and he just, you know, it just takes a toll on him. So, but yeah, the cast is great. That's the best thing about this movie, I'd say. John Savage is a good actor. So, and so is Franklyn Seales. But yeah, enjoy the movie. Check it out. 1979, The Onion Field. So, if you enjoyed this review, like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.